trauma bonding. Today we're diving deep into this complex and often misunderstood world. Trauma bonding is a psychological response to abuse that can leave individuals feeling trapped and isolated. It's a subtle and insidious process that can be difficult to recognize, even for those experiencing it. Stay with us as we uncover the 10 key components that make trauma bonding so powerful and difficult to break. Understanding these components is the first step towards healing and reclaiming your life. Let's talk about intermittent reinforcement. It's a psychological phenomenon that plays a significant role in many toxic relationships. Imagine this. Someone inflicts pain, whether it's emotional, physical, or psychological, then showers you with affection and apologies. They might say they're sorry, promise to change, and make you feel loved and valued. Just when you think it's over, the cycle repeats. The pain returns, followed by more apologies and affection. This unpredictable pattern, this push and pull, keeps you on edge, constantly wondering what will happen next. You become desperate for those crumbs of kindness, those fleeting moments of affection that make you feel seen and loved. It's like being trained to crave the good times while enduring the bad, hoping that the good will eventually outweigh the bad. This creates a dangerous cycle of dependency where you feel trapped and unable to leave. You cling to the hope that things will change, that the person will finally become the loving partner you deserve. But the cycle continues, and each time you hope for a different outcome, you find yourself back in the same place. This cycle chips away at your self-esteem, making you doubt your worth and question your reality. It reinforces the trauma bond, strengthening your emotional dependence on the abuser. Remember, this inconsistency is not love. It's a calculated tactic designed to keep you under control. The abuser uses these manipulative tactics to maintain power over you, ensuring that you remain in the cycle of hope and despair. Breaking free from this cycle is challenging, but it's possible. Seek help and support from friends, family, or professionals. Rebuilding your self-esteem and finding your strength and independence is a journey, but it's one worth taking. Embrace a healthier future, one where you are free from the cycle of abuse and able to live a life filled with genuine love and respect. There is hope and healing on the other side. The path to recovery and self-love is within your reach. Empower yourself with knowledge and resilience. Overcoming the cycle of abuse is a testament to your strength and courage. Look forward to a brighter tomorrow where the promise of a better life awaits you. End the cycle and create a new beginning. You deserve a life filled with peace, love, and happiness. Trauma bonding thrives in environments where there's a significant power differential. This imbalance is often the breeding ground for manipulation and control. The abuser, often charismatic and manipulative, establishes dominance early on. They use their charm to win over the victim, creating a facade of a loving and caring partner. But beneath this facade, they make the victim feel small, insignificant, and powerless. The victim's self-esteem is systematically eroded, making them more susceptible to control. This power imbalance can be overt, like financial control, where the abuser restricts access to money, making the victim financially dependent. Or it can be subtle, like constant criticism and belittling, which chips away at the victim's confidence and sense of self-worth. The abuser might make all the decisions, control the finances, and dictate every aspect of the victim's life, leaving them with no autonomy. They often isolate the victim from their support system, cutting off friends and family, making the victim feel alone and dependent solely on the abuser. This power dynamic creates a sense of dependence, where the victim feels they cannot survive without the abuser. The abuser becomes the center of their world. This makes it incredibly hard for the victim to leave. The fear of the unknown, coupled with the abuser's manipulation, traps them in the relationship. They find it difficult to even imagine a life outside this toxic environment. The abuser's control is so pervasive that the victim's reality becomes distorted. They start believing they need the abuser's permission to exist, to make decisions, to simply be. This psychological bondage is one of the most insidious aspects of trauma bonding. The victim's loss of autonomy is profound. They lose their sense of self, their ability to make independent choices, and their freedom. The abuser's control extends to every facet of their life, making escape seem impossible. Isolation is a powerful tool in the abuser's arsenal. They systematically cut you off from friends, family, anyone who might offer support. This isn't just a casual separation, it's a calculated move to ensure you have no one to turn to. The abuser knows that by isolating you, they can control the narrative of your life, or a different perspective. This isolation serves two sinister purposes. First, it makes you dependent on the abuser for your emotional and social needs. Imagine being in a room with no windows, no doors, just the abuser's voice echoing around you. You're left with no one to turn to, no one to validate your experiences, making you doubt your own reality. The abuser becomes the sole source of your emotional sustenance, creating a toxic dependency and social needs. You're left with no one to turn to, no one to validate your experiences, making you doubt your own reality. This constant doubt gnaws at your self-esteem, eroding your confidence and making you question your own perceptions. The abuser's reality becomes your reality, and you start to lose sight of who you are. Second, it prevents others from seeing the abuse, making it harder for you to seek help. The abuser's isolation tactics are like a cloak of invisibility, hiding the abuse from the outside world. Friends and family may notice your absence, but are often unaware of the true extent of your suffering. This makes it incredibly difficult for you to reach out for help, or for others to intervene. You're trapped in the abuser's world, their narrative becoming your reality. The walls of isolation close in, making it seem like there's no escape. But remember, recognizing these tactics is the first step towards breaking free. Understanding the abuser's methods can empower you to reclaim your life and rebuild your connections with the outside world. Chapter 4. Emotional Manipulation, the Puppet Master. Abusers are masters of emotional manipulation. They know how to push your buttons, how to exploit your vulnerabilities to maintain control. They use guilt trips, shame, and fear to keep you in line. They might remind you of past mistakes, threaten to harm themselves or loved ones, or constantly accuse you of things you haven't done. This constant emotional barrage leaves you feeling anxious, insecure, and emotionally drained. You start walking on eggshells, terrified of triggering their next outburst. This constant fear and self-doubt further cement the trauma bond. Chapter 5. Fear and Intimidation, Living in the Shadow of Fear. Abuse thrives on fear. The abuser uses threats, intimidation, and sometimes even violence to keep you in check. This fear can be explicit, like direct threats, or implied, like a constant undercurrent of tension and unpredictability. The abuser might break things, punch walls, or hurt pets to instill fear and demonstrate their power. This constant state of fear keeps you trapped, always on edge, waiting for the other shoe to drop. You start modifying your behavior to avoid their anger, further surrendering your power and autonomy. Chapter 6. Love bombing, drowning in a sea of affection. Imagine being showered with excessive affection, attention, and gifts, especially at the beginning of a relationship. This is love bombing, a manipulative tactic used to create a strong emotional connection quickly. You're swept off your feet, believing you found your soulmate, someone who truly understands you. This intense affection, however, is often followed by a stark contrast in behavior, creating confusion and making you crave the initial honeymoon phase. This cycle of intense affection and subsequent withdrawal keeps you hooked, desperately trying to regain that initial high. Cognitive dissonance, the internal battle. Trauma bonding creates a state of cognitive dissonance, a clash between your beliefs and your reality. You might love and care for your abuser, but their actions are hurtful and damaging. This creates an internal conflict, a battle between what you feel and what you experience. To cope with this dissonance, you might rationalize the abuser's behavior, minimize the abuse, or blame yourself for their actions. This internal struggle keeps you trapped, unable to reconcile the conflicting feelings and break free from the abusive dynamic. Chapter 8. Denial and minimization. Protecting the illusion. Denial and minimization are powerful defense mechanisms that allow you to cope with the trauma of abuse. You might downplay the severity of the abuse, telling yourself it wasn't that bad or that it won't happen again. You might even convince yourself that the abuser is just stressed or that they didn't mean to hurt you. This denial protects you from the painful reality of the situation, but prevents you from seeking help or taking steps to protect yourself. Chapter 9. Blame shifting, the weight of responsibility. Abusers are masters of blame shifting. They twist the narrative, making you believe that you are the problem, the cause of their actions. They might say things like, "You made me do it," or "If you hadn't done that, I wouldn't have reacted this way." This constant blame shifting erodes your self-esteem, making you question your own judgment and sanity. You start believing you are the problem, further entangling you in the web of abuse. Chapter 10. Trauma repetition, breaking the cycle. Trauma bonding often leads to a vicious cycle of abuse and reconciliation. The abuser apologizes, promises to change, and might even shower you with affection, only to revert to their abusive behavior. This cycle creates a dangerous pattern, reinforcing the trauma bond and making it even harder to break free. You become conditioned to this cycle, expecting the worst, but hoping for the best. Recognizing this pattern is crucial to breaking free and healing from the trauma. Thank you for watching. We hope this video has shed light on the complexities of trauma bonding. Remember, recognizing the signs is the first step towards healing and breaking free. If you or someone you know is trapped in a trauma bond, please seek professional help. You're not alone, and there is hope for a brighter future. Please share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful content.